How long does it take to become a life coach? If you want to learn about that, you've come to the right place. When we can live life on our terms, on a holistic level, taking into account not just our business lives, but also our health, all of our relationships, from friends, family, partners, the world changes. So when it comes to becoming a life coach, well, people are wondering, hey, how long is it going to take? Shorter answer is it's going to depend. But I've seen these people flip a switch and within a month start becoming a life coach. But we're going to look at 4 primary areas over the next few minutes. And those areas are, first, what is your experience? What is the experience you're bringing? And what is the value that that's going to be? Who's going to find that attractive? Second is, what is the certification you may be looking for? And what sort of tools are you going to have that you're going to be able to bring so that you can drive success for your clientele? Third is, how are people going to find you? What are your marketing? How are you going to get in front of people? How are you going to build clientele? And then fourth, how are you actually going to build your business? So with this, again, I've seen people flip a switch and say, all right, I'm a life coach. One of the things you have to start with is talk with your city or your state. Usually go to the Secretary of State's office or just look up licensing in my area. And you can see, are there any licenses required? In most cases, not all, but there's a few exceptions, but vast majority of cases, most people don't need to have a license to be a life coach. So you figure that out, that's the first switch. I've seen people jump into it, inside of a month. But the question is you can call yourself a life coach, but are you looking to be call yourself one, or are you looking to be a successful life coach? And that to me is the real question. So when we think about these 4 areas, I encourage that people step back and say, what is the experience? What is my life experience? And what am I bringing to the table for life coaching? Where does that matter? And now some people say, well, I don't have much, and I don't want you to have that imposter syndrome. Everybody out there has life experiences. It's a matter of figuring out what are the things you've overcome, what are the areas you've been in, and then how can you transition that experience into some form of coaching. Now, some people say, well, yeah, but I'm only 20 and I just graduated college. Okay, then maybe in that case, you've been through college, you're right in the middle of figuring out what those next steps are. That could be a great way that you could start coaching others on, hey, how can I figure out how to help others find their dream job, their next step in life? You're going to be able to relate well with those people better than an old guy like me. Now, maybe in some cases you're a super fit athlete and you've been able to get through the head trash and the challenges that have held you back in your athleticism, but now you're wondering about what it's like to be a mom or a parent of something, whatever that is. But start thinking about, what are the experiences I have? And then start to think about, where do I want to go and how do these experiences translate to others? Will they find value? Now, in some cases, maybe you have a tremendous amount of experience, maybe you've got some real big success, and that in and of itself is enough for somebody to say, yeah, okay, yeah, I trust this guy or gal, I can work with them as a coach. But the second place that I would suggest is considering, what sort of certification are you looking for? Could you have a certification? There's 2 purposes in getting a certification. One says that I've been through a process, I've been through an education, I've taken this serious, and I'm looking at this as a real thing. You may not be any better going through a certification, I hate to say that, than somebody who hasn't. You may have people who have no certifications, but they have a tremendous amount of life experience. But when people are starting with you, how can they know this person's serious about what they're doing? So that's one reason, is if you have a certification, it can help. Now, some certifications literally take years and cost, you can spend $100,000 on those. In other cases, maybe you want to do just a short certification with the intention of using it as an augmentation to what your current experience is. And that's where also, when you come out of this, the second component is, are you going to have some good tools so you can help your clientele truly be successful? To truly build a great coaching practice, you need to have a skill set and a toolbox that allows you to meet people where they're at and really genuinely help them solve their problems. Now, if you have some interest in this, you're welcome to go to our website, lifeon-yourterms.com, And we actually offer certification, of course, that's one of the reasons we're doing the video. But you're welcome to go there and poke around and look at some of the stuff. There's a tool on there called the balance wheel. You can use that. You can use that with clients if you want. No cost, have at it. But it helps you to start exploring what that looks like. And for us, it's only a couple grand to get the certification. You can get it done in a month, and we guarantee that you're going to be able to expand your practice. Okay, so the third thing, so we've talked about the experience. We've talked about some sort of certification. Now the third thing is starting to come up with some sort of a marketing plan. In other words, and maybe it's not marketing, think of it as business development, but how are people going to find you? Maybe it's word of mouth. Maybe you're great on the social platforms and you've got a huge Twitter, TikTok, or some other Instagram or something like that. But how can people find you so that they can then start to become successful? And investing the time in that. This is one of those that's going to take the most amount of time and energy. If you happen to be a massive influencer on the social platforms and you've got 100,000 followers, you're going to be able to flip the switch and say, hey, now I'm doing social, or I'm doing coaching, and you may be able to fill up tomorrow and start charging $500 an hour. If you don't have anybody and you're trying to get in front of people, well, working through what that looks like is going to be important. And you're welcome to check out other videos on this channel where we specifically talk about how that works and how to help people with it. Now the fourth thing that you're going to have to consider in the timing is how long is it going to take you to build the business? What are the actual applications that you need? So this could be, what's the right type of structure? Should I be a subchapter S, a limited partnership, an LLC? What does that look like and how long does that take to create? If you want to start charging people, how long, if you need to have a business account, how long does that take to set up? How long does it take to make sure that you're able to receive funds, set up some sort of Visa or MasterCard or some sort of credit card kind of thing but what are those ways you're doing it? The more options you have, typically the easier it's going to be to get more people. So sometimes that can be a limiting factor in your timing, and you need to work through those simultaneously. Now, I've written my first book was called The Solopreneur, and if you go to theaspiringsolopreneur.com, you can check that out, and there's courses in there on how to very safely build an entire business plan, but again, a whole bunch of free stuff there, so please have at that. But long story short is it really comes down to how long is it going to take? It depends on you. But if you have a full focus and you've got the energy and you've got the potential to get folks tomorrow, you could start it literally within a couple of weeks. So if you have any feedback or questions, please don't be afraid of making some notes or sending us a question or two. We'd love to hear from you. Please subscribe to this channel. If you have any other questions, reach out. Keep smiling.